friends, I am so excited for this video. I can't believe I can come on here today and say I got a Villainess license win. Yes, let's go. Hello friends, happy Monday. So very excited that you're here. So pumped, overjoyed, excited to be filming this video. Got a Villainess license win. 7 Seas came back. They're using translators and I have evidence that they are. And not only that, but Titan Manga had some manga licenses. And then we had a whole bunch of anime news. Now, I'm just gonna say, today I am just sharing my favorite or most interested anime news. I will have more next week, so please stay tuned for that. But let's go ahead and jump right in. Before we get into though my Villainess license win, I do just want to briefly mention that we had 2 new chapters of 2 of my favorite series on K Manga. The first one is First Love, Worst Love. This was so good, so wonderful. Much feelings, much emotions. We're seeing things from Yori-kun's perspective this chapter, and it was very eye-opening and seeing how he ultimately felt, because there's times I feel like, at least in the beginning, he comes across as a very selfish jerk, but yes, he may have a little bit of those tendencies. We do see, and we have seen over the series, of how deeply caring Yori-kun is, and truly this last chapter really just, I mean, I've looked at him in a good light, but I just feel that this last chapter really hit my heart in seeing how he feels. It was absolutely wonderful. On the flip side though, tell me, dear Butler, hello, what was that cliffhanger of an ending? Hello, what was the Butler? No, what was the Butler trying to say? Absolutely not. We are not in favor of this. We are not here for this. I've read this chapter. I ran to the K Manga and I had to go tweet like, what was that ending? Because no. Just no, I have to get that out there because that was not okay and I need the next chapter ASAP. And I will say I featured both of these series in my Top 5 Wednesday video last week, featuring my top 5 favorite K Manga Shoujosei series on there. I'm so grateful for their platform that they're giving us wonderful series like this. But let's go in to those manga licenses, because a huge shout out to Kana, an amazing shout out to them, because friends, they have physically licensed within the Villainess. Yes, it is coming to print. It is coming to print. And the only downside of this is, where is the announcement on Twitter? Where is I need people to know that we are getting this. And it was really hard, friends. Really hard. Because if you saw my manga news video last week, I mentioned how we were getting the anime, the one within the Villainess. And the thing was, at that time, I had to fake it till I made it, because I saw the leaks for the manga back in like January or something like that, or February, and y'all, it's been hard. It has been overwhelmingly hard to know that it's coming, and I'm like, I can't tell anybody, but I could tell you now. I could tell you now it is coming, and I'm overjoyed. This was like my most anticipated, well, it can't be anticipated because it wasn't picked up yet, but it was my most desired, wanted, I hope we get it kind of license that I've wanted for the Villainous manga genre. Yes! Oh my goodness. I have heard, I haven't read it personally, I believe it's 6 or 7 volumes. It is completed. It has a light novel or web novel, which we don't have in English that I am aware of, but oh my goodness, they say that if you like, may I ask for one final thing, that you love that Scarlet beats up people, that she acts like a villainess, then you're gonna love this, because the female lead, from my understanding, we have our female lead, okay, I don't know her name. I don't know her name off the top of my head. I don't know either of their names. So we have our Villainess. She is within the heroine of this story. She's living out her life, doing her thing, then we get to the part we all know it happens, or at least we'll say 95, maybe like 99% of the time in Villainous manga, where we see our heroine, she is being dumped by her fiance for the real actual Villainess, but who's acting like a sweet precious little bean, but ain't a sweet precious bean, you know what I'm saying? That, yeah, she's being broken up with and she's devastated, and that is when the Villainess within her takes over. And she is gonna go get that revenge. She's gonna go serve up some revenge, I hope, to this young woman who is the real Villainess ultimately in the series. I don't know about the prince. I can't comment on that, man, okay? I can't say. But if you dump in what seemed like an actual sweet bean of a heroine, you got it coming for you, buddy. You don't get no sympathy from me. No, you don't. No, you don't, y'all. I'm overjoyed. I'm overjoyed. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. There is somebody from my Villainess event last year who commented, on one of those videos during that time who said, I really hope that you do a first impression of this series. And y'all, I see you, friend. I see you. We will be doing a first impression. I can't wait. It comes out July of next year. I will be seated. You can pre-order Volume 1 and Volume 2 right now on a variety of book retailers. I just asked Books A Million to add it to their 20% off manga sale that they're currently doing because I need it. I need it, friends. I need it. And that was not the only exciting thing. Now, while this was my #1 license of last week, 7 Seas came out and showed up and said, hey, Shoujosei community, we know we've been silent. We know there's been a lot of things happening with the transition and all of that, with Media Dough buying out 7 Seas, all of that. But they said, you know what, Shoujosei community, we want you to know we're still here. We still see you. We want to be on your radar because I think this was the community's biggest win, and that is your meteor hidden in flowers. Y'all, I was shocked when I saw this. I have seen this manga so hyped up, shared by so many different people. I mean, I can't think of their names or their usernames, but I can see their profile pictures in my mind of people on Twitter who have literally, I feel like, dedicated their account. I mean, they're their own account, and I wouldn't say they're specifically a fan account dedicated just to the series, but when I think of this series, I think of them, and it was just so amazing to see so many people overjoyed. I mean, there was a point where, you know, like on Twitter it has like things trending in like the news section. It was in that. It was in that. And I'm like, yes! I'm definitely planning to pick this up. I really hope I enjoy it. I am going to give myself permission to do a blind buy with this because despite that I have seen a lot of hype and a lot of love for this series, I actually don't really know much about it. From what I've read of the blurb that was shared by 7 Seas and from what I've seen, our female lead, Stella, she has a younger sister who has been chosen as a sacrifice to this monstrous creature, and Stella volunteers. She volunteers as tribute to take her sister's place, and it seems this is from the kindness of her heart. I don't think that there was any ill intention from her family or anything like that. It seems they had a happy family. I don't know that for certain, but that's the impression I got. And so Stella willingly offers herself to go be this sacrifice, and when she meets this vampire, who knows how long he has been living and been alive, but when she goes to sacrifice herself to him, she realizes he is very lonely. Now, I have heard that the vampire can be a little bit unhinged, and some people may be like, red flag alert, red flag alert. I don't really know. I did look on Reddit, like whatever popped up on my Google search to sort of investigate this manga a little bit, since I really didn't know much, and the art seems very, very beautiful. I think it's like 5 volumes, 6 volumes, and ongoing, and it seems that a lot of people like the male lead. To me, I wouldn't necessarily say he's a red flag. He just seems very protective and maybe a touch possessive. I don't know how far that goes though, but I will be staying tuned. This is releasing in January of next year, and I'm so excited for all of the people who are massive fans of this series. And if you are worried about like, hey Laura, we all know about what they said they were going to use AI, and then they said no, we're not, and you know, that's great that you're not. That's what we want, but we do want proof of your words to back up what you're saying. And the translator came out. We have an official tweet saying, hey, I am the translator of this series. She's very, very excited. She said she is putting her all into it, and I'm very, very thrilled that just we have an actual translator working on this. I do know for another series, 7 Seas had announced, I think it was Shy or I'm Shy. I know it has the word shy in the title, that there was an official translator that came out as well saying, hey, that they will be working on it. So it seems like it's going to be really good news. Now, while this next one is not Shoujosei, I was very curious about this light novel. I'm not really sure you say the title of it, so I'm just going to put it here. But the reason I wanted to feature this is because I find idol stories very, very fascinating. Like, I have tried a little bit of Oshinoko, like right when it physically got picked up, and I did think it very interesting. It wasn't quite my cup of tea, but typically if I see an idol series, especially if it's Shoujosei or just geared towards a female audience, I do like to try it. And this one has me curious because it's saying that get ready for the realist look into Japan's idol culture in this gripping coming-of-age story written by an actual idol. And I said, okay, that is where I was most intrigued. And it looks like this comes out in November, and it will be a print as well as a digital release. I'm going to be keeping an eye out on it, and I will be looking forward to seeing a preview of sorts because I would love to get this inside look into the world of idols because I just find it very fascinating, but also very saddening when you find out the real things that are happening behind the scenes. So hopefully, if I get it, it won't break me or anything like that, but I will will definitely be keeping an eye on it and hoping to learn more about this light novel. I feel like the big surprise last week, I mean, we had plenty of surprises, but Titan Manga, they came out and they had several different announcements. In fact, they had 2 days worth of announcements. I believe there were 3 different Shoujosei. The one I feel was the most exciting and the biggest win from them is the legendary witch is reborn as an oppressed princess. That may not be ringing a bell, maybe if you hear the title, though we do have the light novel actually releasing from J Novel Club. I have put on the Shoujosei release calendar before, but what makes this such a big deal in my opinion is this is the same creator as 7th Time Loop as well as Mafia Dating Sim. Yes, so we are finally getting her manga in English. I really have wanted to try this. I will say though, I did try chapter 1 in Japanese. I think chapter 1, chapter 2, trigger warnings for child abuse. Ooh, that was, I did not appreciate that, y'all. That was a little bit brutal for me, and I appreciate trigger warnings when we get them, and I said, hey, I'm gonna look out for anybody else who does not like seeing child abuse on page. Just be forewarned. It seems to be only the beginning. I can't speak past that, but it was enough to give me a good gut punch. But from what I'm understanding, this seems to be about a young woman, a child at the beginning, who is being abused by her uncle. He treats her very, very badly. I mean, just that one panel was enough to be like, okay, this man's trash, he's garbage, throw the man out. She realizes, though, that she has some past memories, and in her previous life or previous lives or whenever it was, she has memory of when she was a legendary witch and was able to command all of these magicians. So using, I'm assuming, that knowledge from her previous life, she's bringing it in to this new life where she is the daughter, it says Princess Claudia. So I guess she's an actual princess, but she is being very abused and very mistreated in her home. And so she's going to use those powers to help aid her in this lifetime. And the young man that is on the cover apparently devotes himself to her. I forgot where I saw it, but there was somewhere where it says, maybe it was a subtitle for the light novel, but that he acts as a servant to her and does everything he can to help aid her in whatever she decides and wants to do. This is a 3-volume manga series and ongoing. I believe the light novel is also ongoing, and I do feel it's a little bit jilting to me when you see the light novel cover and the manga cover. I feel like there's 2 very different vibes that are happening, and so I'm not really sure how I'm going to feel about the series. I am planning to get volume 1 at the very least because I do want to support Sensei, and I am very overjoyed that we are getting this in English. Somebody did say that out of all of her works, they feel this is her favorite story by Sensei, so I'm like, hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty awesome. The art was really nice from what I saw, and I think it's just going to be a very interesting and engaging story, and I look forward to checking it out. I believe it comes out September 1st, if it doesn't, I guess, get pushed back. I'm not familiar with Titan. This one and the next one will be my first Titan pickups from them ever, though I will say for this next one, now listen, I am not familiar at all with this world universe that apparently this is based off of, because the name of this is even after Doronjo-sama was reincarnated, she remained a villainess, and apparently this young woman is based off of, again, some very famous series in Japan, and she loses a battle to the ultimate hero in this series and gets reincarnated as a villainess. So she was a villainess before and a villainess after, but the thing that made this unique to me is the 2 side characters, I guess they're sort of like her lackeys, they all get hit by Truck-kun at the very same time, and they all get isekai'd through the same story at the same time. And I was just so surprised by that. I really, really enjoyed the first 2 chapters that I saw online, as well as a free chapter of art that they provided of the characters. It seems like a really just a blast of a read, and honestly, one of the lackeys reminds me of Waluigi from Mario. I'm like, that's all I need, and I just enjoyed seeing this character who wears a mask, as the cover shows, and when she's reincarnated, she still is wearing the mask, and even when she loses the full mask, she still has her eyes covered with some kind of face mask. And I'm like, okay, I'm like, I've seen it. This is a 3-volume series. It is completed. Again, very, very curious of how it unfolds. She seems like she really wants to snag the prince. She doesn't seem like a villainess to me, so we're still hitting those villainous tropes here of we have a villainess who's not really acting like one. From my impression of looking at the art and the pages, I feel like she is really wanting some of these Cinderella-like vibes to come true. Like there was a glass slipper, but it had a skull on it, and she seemed really excited about it, and she had some other daydreams with the prince. So yeah, I'm very, very curious. I hope it's just a good time. I don't think you have to know the lore behind her character to appreciate this. At least that is my hope. I will be very sad if that is not the case. But yeah, I'm here, I'm seated. I love me some Villainess manga, and I got 2 in 1 week. Like, yes, let's go. And then last but not least, we had one that is inspired by Grim Tales, and that is the obsession of Red Riding Hood. I looked into this, and this was a little bit creepy. I was like, the prince here, or I'm assuming it's the prince, somebody of royalty, he looking pretty scary. He looking pretty scary. So I guess from what the blurb says, and from what I saw in chapter 1, this young woman, excuse me, I'm not really sure what grade she's in, she finds a forbidden book. Sort of actually reminded me of Twisted Wonderland when they have these events and then like special events and then they go to the library and there's this book that obviously looks pretty magical and they open it and then they are, you know, teleported into a new world. But I don't think she's not teleported there. It says, and unleashes grim fairy tale characters into her world. And it says romance turns deadly as wolves. Like, oh, a dark obsession driven fantasy. Look, I didn't read the blurb before I checked out the first chapter. That would make a lot more sense. The guy who represents, I believe, Red Riding Hood, he's interesting. He's interesting. I'm like, I don't really know your motivations, buddy. I'm like, are you a good guy or are you a bad guy? Yes, you're helping the female lead, but I couldn't really get the impression. And he did save her from the very scary goblin wolf dude, whatever he was supposed to be. I don't know, he was just scary looking. But he did save her from that. But he really, after he saved her, I felt like there were some conditions or something that needed to be met the way he was talking, you know? Like, I don't know, it was just that vibe. So I will be picking this one up, but it is a two or three volume series that is complete as well. And it seems interesting. I like the art. I just, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna pick up some horror. I feel like I got like one, oh, it's way up there. I feel like I got, oh no, Rosie right here. This is about the most horror-like series that I have, as well as Queen's Quality. If you know, you know. Those are probably about as far as I will go, but I truly hope that somebody has seen something that they're excited for out of these series. If you have not, don't worry. We have some license announcements that are going to be coming. Manga Mavericks, I actually commented on their tweet and I said, hey, I'm hoping for some Shoujosei, because I think we even mentioned this last week that they were fixing their lineup or getting it ready to go. And I said, hey, I hope that there's some Shoujosei. And you know what he said? He was like, okay, we might not. This person is on the team. And he was saying how they have their shoujo lined up for the summer, but they have a josei coming next month. And I said, okay, I'm here. I am seated. I cannot wait to see what they will share with us. As same as Eyes Press, they have confirmed they will be at SakuraCon this upcoming weekend on the 4th, I believe. For my time zone, it's going to be from 4 to 5 Eastern, but if you're in the Pacific time, it'll be 1 to 2. Last year, they were cooking on them manhwa licenses, so I have very high expectations. So many of us in the tweets are begging for how to win my husband over. Like, please, Eyes Press, make it happen. Make it happen for us, bestie. We want it. We want it. And I think, yes, they mentioned right here, they're going to have 4 manhwa titles coming to print. I cannot wait to see what it is. I think they said they would basically start 15 minutes in and then start doing the manhwa licenses. Not only that, but Dark Horse, this upcoming Monday, they're having 4 different announcements as well. And I'm very, very excited to see. Somebody mentioned that they're part of the team. Only one person has correctly guessed of the titles they're licensing based off the emojis that they have shared. I really, really hope that there's Shoujosei. I truly, truly do. Like, that would be absolutely amazing. So I guess to be determined, and we'll talk about them in next week's manga news video to see what is to come. Speaking of what's to come, Anime Japan was this past weekend. There were so many different anime news. I'm not going to be covering all of it, mainly just going to be sharing my favorites, with the first one being, have you seen that PV of Magic Knight Rayearth? Oh my goodness. If you have not seen it, pause this video, go to the link up in the corner, go check it out, because man, it's amazing, because I also leave all the links down below. It was fantastic. I have read the manga. I do have a video review on it. Nothing like this series has ever, wait, gotta reword that. It has a plot twist that no other manga ever have I read has been as intense as this plot twist that left me dumbfounded and shocked. I was so shocked I couldn't even cry. Man, it was just absolutely amazing, even though it was really devastating what was happening. But seeing this world come to life, I mean, the world building is absolutely fantastic. If there was one thing I wanted more of in Magic Knight Rayearth, it it was the world building, and I really think this anime is just going to heighten it. Seeing all of our girls, they look so good. They look so good. Briefly, it's about 3 young women who have more or less been chosen. They were in Tokyo on a field trip from 3 different schools. They see a huge thing of light, I believe, and they get isekai to a fantasy world where they have been summoned to help save this planet, this place that they are in, but things aren't what they seem. Let's just say that who you think is a certain person and maybe an ally may not be the ally you expect, and who you think is probably an enemy may not be the enemy you expect. I really, really, really enjoyed this manga a lot. I would definitely also say if you need some Gundam vibes, it does have that. That was one of my favorite parts of the series as well, and that wasn't captured in the PV, but y'all, I cannot wait. We also have a new key visual, and it looks good, fantastic. I love it, y'all. I am just so excited to see this on screen. I believe it's coming. Is it coming this year? Yes! October is stacked, y'all. October is stacked. Another PV, which I know I shared last week, it was more of a teaser PV, I think, but now we have an official first teaser, and that is the Oblivious Saint can't contain her power. Oh my goodness. Y'all, I was really curious about this. I mean, I actually put the manga on my YouTube calendar to do a first impression of eventually, but seeing this PV absolutely sold me. Absolutely sold me, because from what I got in the previous trailer or the teaser, our female lead has been handed over or given by her family to a neighboring kingdom to have a political arranged marriage, you know, to have peace between the 2 neighboring countries. The thing is, the person she's going to be marrying, has some really bad rumors about him. But then I saw the PV and I said, oh my goodness, this man definitely seems intimidating, has that scary aura. But y'all, you can tell just from this PV, this trailer alone, he treats this woman like gold. And I said, I'm here for it. I'm sold. Boom. Yes, and so she reminds me a little bit of Sei from the Saint's Magic Powers Adaptation, where I feel like this male lead is going to be like her strength and help spark her abilities being what they are, at least at the end of the trailer, as a saint. I said, I'm here for this, and even though when you see like this character key visual, oh, my heart hurts for her so much. It hurts for her. She seems so sweet, and I'm just like, let the girl have the happiest endings with this new husband, with her man. Like, yes, that man is going to be absolutely smitten with her, and they're going to be a happy couple. And I'm like, I need everybody who's out to get them and bring them down. You get away. You back up, bud. You back up. You back up. But if you're looking for some comedy, though, I was so excited. Shout out to my friend Jess, who actually shared this with me, because I totally missed it. And that is Heroine Saint. No, I'm an all works made, and I'm proud of it. We got the first teaser PV. Melody looks awesome. Oh my goodness. I have a first impression of this. I believe I've read up to volume 3 of the manga. It is so much fun. It is hilarious. It's a great time. It's just about a young woman who has been really obsessed with maids. Like, that was like her dream job that she really wanted when she was in Japan, and then she gets isekai reincarnated into this fantasy world, and being a maid really isn't that prestigious in this world. It's an easy job to come by, and so she ends up picking up a job for, I forget what their standing is, but they are sort of, we'll say high society, but they have gone bankrupt, and so the daughter's at this really rundown place, and Melody's here. She's the only servant slash maid here. She is overjoyed. She's so excited because she's like, I can clean all this house by myself the way I want it. It is great. If you like really great girl friendships where the lines of society of one is low, like a commoner, and then you have high society or nobles, no, there's none of that. Melody doesn't see that, and the other girl doesn't see that as well. They're best friends. If you like to see things about cleaning and just seeing a young woman live out her dream as being a maid, as well as mixed in with a little bit of intrigue, because I can't tell you why, but let's just say there are some questions and some mysteries that are coming to the surface. Poor Melody is like totally OP and just doesn't care, doesn't realize and doesn't care that other people may be looking for her, because she's like, hey, if I just get it clean, that's fine. That's all I want. Don't interfere with her work of cleaning now. You gonna get on Melody's bad side with that. Don't do that, because we do see a moment, I think in volume 2 or volume 3, and it's like, somebody learned a valuable lesson not to interfere when she is trying to do her work as a maid. I think the trailer looks really great. I will be tuning in and looking forward to seeing what comes from this. And that's not the only thing. I'm not to say I saved the best for last, but if you're looking for a new anime that's gonna be coming out, y'all, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I can't believe I woke up whatever day it was to this news and I said, this is real? This is happening? And it's happening. And that is the condemned villainess goes back in time and aims to become the ultimate villain is getting an anime. I repeat, the condemned villainess is getting an anime. Yes! It has over 2 million copies in circulation. I think it's just for the light novel. We do have a manga. I do have a video review of up to volume 4. Shout out to my friend Being Queenie and Danielle, both who've got me on that hype train for this series. I need to read volume 5 because I've just been making progress on my TBR, but it ain't fast enough. And I'm so excited. I am so excited to see Claudia on screen. If you've seen my review, I mentioned I was really hesitant because we do find out that in Claudia's previous life that she worked at, I believe it was a brothel of sorts. I can't remember the actual term, but I'm pretty sure that's where she worked. And so I feel so bad because I love Claudia. She reminds me so much of Penelope, the highest compliment I can give for her. But she knows how to charm a man in several different ways. But when time goes backwards and she's like, I'm going to change things as it goes with these Villainous time loop series. She's like, I'm going to change things. And I love how she does. And it's interesting to me because as she changes things, she decides that she's not going to use her body the same way she did, that she was forced to, okay? I should say she was really much forced into that line of work due to a really horrible character. But yeah, in this time loop, she's going to change things and she's not going to go back to that life. And not only that, I was talking with somebody on Discord the other day of how Claudia uses her new life, her new, not power, but just where she's at to save somebody that also was forced into that line of work. And it was so beautiful when she does, the friendship that blooms. There's great mystery. I really, really have enjoyed these characters. Sylvester, it took us a hot minute, y'all. It took us a hot minute, but by the end of volume 4, I was sold and really enjoyed his character, the romance that blooms, and it just feels so surreal to know that this is coming in anime form. I have really enjoyed it. Again, I just gotta get caught up. Volume 6 releases next month, actually, so I'm like, it's definitely time to catch up. But man, what an amazing way to wrap up the anime news. I cannot wait to see this on screen, as well as all of these anime that I mentioned in the manga coming to print. Yes, it was just such an amazing, amazing week. I hope that we have some more amazing manga licenses, anime news, and we'll definitely talk about like Firefly Wedding. We finally got a PV, I believe a new key visual, also things with Hana Kimi. So don't worry, we have more to talk about next week. But for now, I will close this out there, friends. I truly hope you saw something you were excited for. The Villainesses, they are making a comeback. They are making a comeback. We love, love, love to see it. But I would love to hear from you, friends. Did you get any license wins last week? Did you see any anime you're like, yes, I am stoked for it? I know there was so much more that was outside of Shoujosei that was announced. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really overwhelmed. So yeah, let me know down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.